The Arctic and Desert Meta. Both are the most challenging servers to thrive on. Most builds have to maximise their evolution points towards being able to survive in these metas due to the insane debuffs that the environment throws at them. Because of this, not too many builds move to these servers. However, it has given rise to some of the toughest builds imaginable, from the hardcore survivalists of the deserts to the incredibly strong heavyweights of the Arctic. In this video, we will be discussing both of these metas in depth and the best picks for each server, with some information on what you need to do if you want to break into these metas. Starting off on the Desert Meta. The Desert Meta originated in the 0.8 climate patch of the game, introducing new biomes and opportunities for factions to create specialised desert builds. Builds coming into the desert must adapt to the harsh weather and environmental conditions. So to survive, a build would need to spec into a smaller, skinnier body to increase the surface area so that heat can be released easier from the body. Another ability that is needed to be specced into is dehydration resistance. By acquiring an optimised liver that allows for the least amount of water to be used by urination. The best desert builds will be the ones that utilise these strategies the most efficiently. So for my first desert build, I chose the Pachiopods. They are a prime example of a good desert build, small, fast, and with many adaptations that allow them to thrive in the desert world. For example, their dewlaps, or membrane flaps, under their heads allow for the excessive heat of their bodies to leave more efficiently, allowing for better control of their temperature than builds without it. Alongside their heavily specialised kidney, which is optimised for the least amount of water being wasted upon excretion, which further gives this build better adaptations for survival. Overall, this is just a really good example of a desert build done right, and I think it should be praised for that. So I'm going to put that in an A tier. Another example would be the Listochirids, a nocturnal desert-dwelling build made to survive during the long nights and avoid the heat of the day. The Listochirids have a menagerie of different adaptations made for surviving in the dark. For example, the Listros have evolved larger, more pronounced eyes to help them see under the cover of darkness. Alongside this, they're speccing into digging, having sharp claws at the front and a fusiform body shape, allowing them to become more efficient diggers and allowing them to wait out the harshest heat of the day. With all these abilities, the Listochirid is one of the best desert builds and is a good pick for anyone who wants a generalist burrower. Alright, now for a look at the Arctic meta. This meta is a complete opposite from the desert, with size and fur being a must-have here. Let's call that. So for my first pick, I'll choose the Pachiopods. Due to their gigantothermy ability, alongside their massive size, which when fully grown, few predators serve as a threat to them. They don't really have any weaknesses. They're overall just very good. So for this, I'll put them just barely in the S tier. Another well-made tundra build is the Thicapod. The Thicapod has many features talked about earlier. The Thicapod has many features we talked about earlier. For example, fur and a large body size. However, they have lots of very unique traits that make them stand out. Unlike their hyper-carnivorous relatives, these builds focus on mesocarnivory, allowing them to survive on not just meat, but other vegetation as well. Along with much more heat-trapping fur and the unique ability of hibernation, allowing them to survive the heat reserves for weeks at a time. Because of all of this, I strongly believe that they are an S-class tier, a really good example of a survivalist tundra build. Well, thank you all for your time, and remember to like and subscribe, and check out Rubier Biospheres. Episode 4 is coming out soon, and maybe we might just make a tier list on them too. Till next time, goodbye.